So I think I've probably watched a bajillion videos by now on season 5 of Stranger Things. And it's still lingering on in my mind. I can't, my brain cannot let it go. I don't know what to do other than make this video and hope to God that, oh my God, this will stop haunting me now. So I think you can tell that I didn't really like season 5. There were some things that I liked, but then there were some things that, oh my God. To be honest, my expectations going into the season were pretty darn low. Okay. So, well, the fact that, they at least made an entertaining season, which I can't really even say it's an entertaining season now that I think about it, because they stretch things out for so long. Certain scenes, they just go on forever and ever and ever. And I was trying to do like a positive thing, like, okay, they made an entertaining season. I can't even do that. What do you want me to do? Anywho, let's get into it. Okay. So, even before watching season 5, I think I made a giant ass mistake that ruined the entire season for me. This following part is a complete tangent, but I promise I'm going somewhere with it, okay? I am a fan of Demon Slayer, not a diehard fan. There are things that I don't like about the series, and Muzan Kibutsuji is a horrible fucking villain, but I like the anime, okay? So when I learned that Infinity Castle movie is gonna come out, my autistic brain sat down and planned out me rewatching the entire series, such that if I stick to the schedule, I will watch the last episode the day of the movie release. Okay, I went to watch the movie at like 6 a.m. or something like that. An hour before the movie was supposed to start, I planned out a time where I would watch the last episode, okay, and then I would go to the movies and watch the Infinity Castle movie. Okay, that was the whole plan in my head, and it was fucking amazing. I'm so glad I did that. Okay, I was actually a little behind on schedule, so I was watching last scenes of the last episode in the theater before the movie was supposed to begin, and then the movie started, and oh my God. You know why I loved it so much? Because in the last episode, we can see, okay, they jump into the Infinity Castle. Muzan Kibutsuji, the villain, is right there. Our main protagonist, Tanjiro, screams he's gonna kill him. Okay, it's like a whole moment. Okay, and then in the theaters, that is right where we left off. In the Infinity Castle. Muzan Kibutsuji, right in front of us. You get it? Okay. So, that's what I did with Stranger Things as well. I say it's a mistake, because in season 4, we leave on a very high fucking note. Oh my God, there's the opening. Vecna almost won. The door between worlds was almost open. And then we see these dark particles all around in the right side up. That is where we leave off. 2 days after the quote-unquote earthquake. And then I watched season 5, episode 1. Apparently 2 years have gone by and nothing fucking happened. Vecna has just been chilling for the last 2 years. What was that whole thing about in season 4? The dust from Upside Down. Max almost died, and so the gate opened for a brief moment, but it didn't. So wouldn't it make sense for Vecna or the dust cloud to go after Max? Again, I mean, she's clearly weakened. Maybe send the demo dogs or Demogorgons or Demobats, you know? What we got was just like ooh, everything went back to normal and now we're doing this thing again, where each season begins with everything being completely normal, which is bullshit. You are really telling me after the entire town was almost convinced that there are satanic rituals taking place and Eddie Munson is this guy who's doing the satanic rituals. And right after, they saw the dust particles in the air, lightning from Upside Down, and the town almost splitting open. You are really telling me that there are no rumors going around, there are no... there's nothing going on? The things cannot be normal after that. Genuinely, I felt gaslit by season 5. I watched season 5 right after season 4, and I felt like I've been bamboozled. It doesn't communicate with other seasons. Lots of things that were a huge deal in season 1, 2, 3, and 4 are just not a big deal anymore. For example, the hive mind. We see this in season 4 that they cannot step on the vines and upside down because that'll alert Vecna. We know that. Hive mind. Same thing with Demogorgons, Demodogs, Demobats, okay? It's all a hive mind. And now our team is just not bothered. Not fucking bothered. In the upside down. They're stepping on vines left and right. There are no Demodogs, Demobats, none of that exists in the upside down. The military is doing construction, for fuck's sake. Nothing's happening. At this point, Upside Down is just the regular world in dark mode. We've talked a lot about the toxic air from Upside Down. Again, it's not an issue anymore. And then the Duffer Brothers had the fucking audacity to change the story retroactively, saying that, ooh, the reason why that there are no Demogorgons and Demobats and Demodogs in the Upside Down is because, well, Vecna was not expecting a sneak attack. Which is bullshit. Humans are in the Upside Down. Quite literally, there's military presence in the Upside Down. You're telling me, oh, he just did not... what? No. First of all, Will is a spy. Vecna has invaded Will's mind multiple times. You're really telling me that, oh, he did not see, he didn't know the plan. He knew. 100%. Secondly, the vines. They're supposed to alert Vecna, even if there are no Demodogs or Demobats. I mean, it's all a hive mind. Why didn't the vines, alert him? I swear to God, if they're gonna make a Vecna spin-off or I'm not watching that. I will kill somebody. Probably in Minecraft. I don't know. Speaking of Vecna, I feel like he has horrible ADHD because each season he has different fucking goal. Now, I do understand that in the beginning, season 1, 2, and 3, Vecna could only act when a gate was already open, but he couldn't open the gate himself, for which he needed Elle's power, which he got at the end of season 3 when the meat flare bit Elle. She blocked her own powers, but also Vecna gained the power of opening gates. So that's what we see in season 4, that Vecna needs 4 sacrifices to open the gate to the Upside Down. But he's not successful. Max, in the end, she lives. I mean, she's in very critical condition, definitely, but she lives. I mean, if I were Vecna, what I would do is go after Max, because, low-hanging fruit. I mean, if I was Vecna, I would think, well, I almost succeeded. I just need to get Max, and maybe I'll send Demodogs or Demobats, or maybe I'll just go myself. Why not? And finish this. That's what I would do if I was Vecna. Apparently, Vecna doesn't think so. In season 5, we see that, apparently Vecna needs 12 children now for his master plan. Well, what happened to the original plan? It was pretty good. You almost succeeded. How about we just go and find Max and finish this? Think about it. You were a human once. You know how human beings are and live in a civilization. Max is in a critical condition. Where do you think she would be? Just random guess. Where do you think a critically ill person will be? Yeah, at the hospital. I mean, is he an idiot? Nah, dude, nah. It's the Duffer Brothers. I mean, going after Max seems like the most obvious choice. Maybe not right after because, our gang did flambe the bitch pretty damn well. But, afterwards, yeah, do that, right? There's already openings, multiple openings. Just have to, get rid of those steel plates, which Demodogs can very easily do, I believe that. And now that he does have Elle's powers, telekinetic, bone-snapping powers, why not go after the gang who flambéed him or, other members? Why not? See, he seems like the most generous villain of all times. In the season with Will, he was right there in front of Will and other people, and he killed nobody. He just fucking toyed with Will, and that's pretty much it. Him doing that didn't really help him because he was able to, tap into the Vecna's powers, and yeah. Which I actually did like, by the way. I really did like that. Okay. The part of him not going after Joyce, Mike, Will, just not doing anything. He's just there for the cameo. Why were you there, dude? I mean, what was the point of all that? It is really, really obvious that the Duffer Brothers are really afraid of killing characters. Like our gang is so fucking huge right now. I keep calling them the gang because there's so many fucking members. There are new characters as well, like Holly, which we're gonna get into. The only person who dies is Kali, and not even by fucking Vecna. She was killed by the military. I really didn't like that. Oh, the only person who was killed in the season was Kali. Really. Like nobody else, just Kali. L too, I guess, but I'm not counting that because, ooh, they left it ambiguous. You get what I'm saying? Insane plot armor. Because of this serious damn plot armor, the last battle genuinely felt like, bleh, whatever. I mean, nobody died. Nobody fucking died. And somebody did this math. Apparently, it took our gang less time to defeat Vecna in the Mind Flayer monster form than it took for Will to come out. For a second, just for a second, when the abyss was crashing into the upside down, for a second, I thought, oh my god, Steve was gonna fall off and he was gonna die. And um, what impact would it have on Dustin? Steve will die right after Eddie. Oh, that would leave him devastated. I thought that, but of course that did not happen because plot armor. I mean, if we don't have Steve, then who's gonna do all the banter, right? People like Steve, of course. They can't kill him off now. Ugh, horrible, horrible, just horrible. I was come. It would be really dark if Steve and Eddie died. Just the impact on Dustin, it would have been devastating. But I feel like that would have been better, better than what we got. That would have a lot more emotional weight to it. I am just talking about it, and my eyes are watering up. Speaking of Dustin, I really like the Dustin angst arc. Okay. It makes sense in my head. Dustin is trying to process his grief about Eddie dying, and in my head, his angst arc, it makes sense, okay. And, the tension that he and Steve had, also good. And the way that it got resolved as well, like Dustin hugging Steve and saying he can't lose him too. It was so emotional. It was so heartfelt. And oh my god. Imagine if right after that, Steve ended up dying as well. It would be absolutely devastating for Dustin, for us. I would cry. I was just thinking about it and I'm already tearing up. But also, that would be good storytelling. Imagine if Steve died protecting Dustin, or Dustin could have hypothetically in his mind could have done something to prevent Steve from dying, but obviously that's not real. That's just trauma speaking. But he believes that, and he blames himself for Steve's death. At this point, I'm just writing fan fiction, but I hope you get the point. The Daffodils are really fucking allergic to killing off our main character gang. But, killing off a character, a primary character even, isn't bad. Of course, it depends on the way you do it, but it can make the story a lot more richer. I would have, if Steve had died, I would have cried my eyes out. Like, oh my god. And every time that I would rewatch it, I would always cry at that moment. But of course, that did not happen. And I'm not mad that Steve lived. I'm just mad at Duffer Brothers for creating this insane fucking plot armor. Speaking of making changes in the story that might make things better, let's talk about Will's coming out scene. Now, there's honestly a lot of homophobia around this, okay? I really don't like that. I kind of didn't want to include this part because of that. It is not that I didn't want Will to come out or not come out. I mean, if he didn't, it would also be completely understandable. I mean, it was what, the 1980s? I can't even imagine the homophobia against gay men. So if he chooses not to, that would also, make sense in my head. The part that I really didn't like is the timing of it right before the main battle. It felt a bit like, okay, well, yes, we get you're gay, but the world is about to end. I am not saying. I hope I don't sound like a homophobe. I really am not. Okay. But when you're watching the scene, that's what my mind goes to. That okay, the world is ending. Okay, well, you're coming out as gay. Okay. Also, just the giant amount of cast that we have around him when he is coming out, that kind of irked me the wrong way. It would have been a lot better, in my opinion, if it was just, his close friends or just his mom and brother and maybe a couple of friends from our gang, like Mike, maybe. There would be a lot more interpersonal connection, and I think that might have been better. Anywho, that is a minor critique. The main thing that I'm really upset about is that Will says that he needs to come out because Vecna showed his deepest, darkest fears, and one of them was that he was not accepted by his friends, family for being gay. Okay, I get that. There are 2 points about this, but if that really was the case, why didn't we see it? For basically everybody else, when Vecna does toy with someone like that, we see what the person sees. For Max, it was Billy. She's, of course, traumatized by that experience. And one of the things that Vecna mentioned to Max was that she wanted Billy to die because she hated him so much. And, that cuts deep. So, Vecna showing these visions to Max, it makes sense for Max and for us as audience as well. We can relate to that. Not relate to it, but at least sympathize with it. Why didn't we see anything like that with Will? I mean, show not tell. Quite literally, show not tell. What were the fears that Vecna showed Will that he felt so terrified? Okay, Will does say that, okay, Vecna showed that nobody would accept him, etc. And I guess that's why they didn't show us that part of Vecna toying with Will. It's because it would look really goofy. But maybe we could do something with it. Maybe we could see something like Mike or gang bullying him, the closest people that he has bullying him, or his mother rejecting him, which of course none of that is true. But maybe we could do something with that. I don't know. Okay? Which brings me to another point. If you really couldn't think of anything to put in that scene, maybe we should have kind of not touched it. What I mean is, okay, Will went through a lot. Okay, in season 1, he was kidnapped, the mind flayer. Will has gone through a lot of trauma. How about Vecna uses that against him? And we have seen what Will has gone through this entire time. How traumatized he must be. Of course, there's lingering trauma. And Vecna tapping into that fear would make sense for us and Will too. I don't know. And maybe he felt like, okay, he needs to be completely honest about the fears and that might include coming out as well. I am just really upset that we didn't see what Vecna showed Will, because then that diminishes our connection with Will. It diminishes the impact that it's supposed to have. I have another idea as to how they could have added Will coming out into the story a little more naturally. And the way they could have done that is by simply making Mike Will's best friend again. Making Mike the pillar, the support that Will relies on. I can imagine Vecna invading Will's mind for the first time and him using all the trauma from the kidnapping, from Upside Down, from everything against him. And he's not able to cope. He's overwhelmed, maybe lashes out at Mike, maybe not. And then in the end, finally confides in Mike that this is what's going on. This is what he shows Will. And Mike talking it through with him, being there for him, supporting Will, his best friend. And then when Vecna attacks again, Will doesn't fall for Vecna's manipulation. Rather, he manipulates Vecna himself, quite literally. He's able to control Vecna just for a little bit, just enough so that Max and Holly can escape. And then finally, when Vecna attacks again, he again tries to use Will's trauma against him. It doesn't work because the support that he has from Mike. But now all Vecna really has to do is shatter that support that he feels from Mike. And he can do that very easily by simply pointing out that Mike doesn't even know who Will is. This person that he trusts so much has no idea who he is. And he falls right back into the trauma nightmare. And that could, in theory, make him want to come out to Mike at the very least. Because he has to get over it. Vecna is using it against him. But of course, he's afraid as well of what Mike would think of him. So, it could be a very heartfelt moment-ish, That's how I imagine it, at the very least. If they were going to do it, they should do it something like this. They could even add, interpersonal tension by adding Hopper. Do we really believe that Hopper would accept Will as gay? I have doubts about that. I mean, Hopper's character has also been inconsistent over the seasons. He portrays this trope and he has to learn the same things over and over again. Might as well just throw this into into the trope machine. Why not? At least it's something new. At least it's not him learning over and over again that Mike is actually a good person and him dating Elle is totally fine and they both really care about each other and it's totally okay. At least it's not that over and over again. Now, does that work exactly? The answer is no, not really. Mainly it has to do with Mike and Will and their friendship. It just doesn't work. But I claim no responsibility in that. It's not my fucking fault that Duffer Brothers made Mike and Will goddamn baboons in season 4. I'm just saying that needs to be at least something there. Right now, it just feels like it was put there for the sake of putting there, which I don't quite like. Let's talk about the military for a second now. We see the military still hunting down 11. That makes complete sense in my head. They're apparently creating architecture in the Upside Down, which, okay. But also, not okay? I mean, of course, they have the capacity to do it. It's the military. The part that I don't like is, they're doing it in the Upside Down, and apparently, stepping on vines, and there are no demo dogs or demo bats or no Vecna attacking. What? When I was watching, I thought that, okay, maybe they have captured Vecna. Maybe military captured Vecna. That's why Hive Mind is disconnected. That's why there are no demo dogs and demo bats. And when people step on vines, it seems just fine. But that was not the case. That would have been kind of cool, actually. Dr. K is just substitute Dr. Brenner. I can't even. She has no role to play. She just is there to be there, I guess. I don't know. Them catching Kali does make sense in my head because she has a criminal record, she's engaging in criminal activities. It makes sense that, it would be pretty easy for the military to catch her and experiment on her. It makes sense in my head. What I don't sort of understand is that why didn't they just inject Kali with the solenoid thingy? Come on. We see that last season. It exists. That technology exists. I doubt Brenner just died with that knowledge in his head. I'm pretty sure it's there somewhere in the military files. Why didn't they just create it again and implanted Cali with that? It makes sense in my head. Why did I mean, it wouldn't really change the story that much, I guess. But it would tell us that, the Duffer Brothers did not forget about the solenoid. I am very suspicious that, that device that was able to control Vecna/Henry, it's just never mentioned again. What? Also, talking about the world of Upside Down, apparently it is a wormhole to the abyss. I would buy that, but I don't buy that. Again, lots of plot holes. First and foremost, there has been a giant wall around Hawkins this entire time and nobody noticed. This is a map of Hawkins. Is this an accurate map, you might be questioning? Of course not, because Duffer Brothers are fucking stupid. Anyways, this is supposedly the map of Hawkins. Now, our gang in season 4 has been at the Wheeler's house, at the trailer park, at Vecna's house. Before that, in season 1, we see Joyce and Hopper in the Upside Down searching for Will. And they go from Mrs. Byers' house, they're all over the town. You're really telling me, nobody fucking noticed that wall. Nah, bullshit. Secondly, the shield generator thingy. Now, we know from previous seasons that Elle did not create the Upside Down. She merely opened a gate to it. The Upside Down has existed prior to her opening the gate. When she opened the gate for the first time, Brenna was surprised. Brenna had never seen anything like this before. And then we learn in season 5 that apparently Brenna knew this entire time and he created the shield generator thingy and apparently it is the thing that is causing the Upside Down to exist and not collapse on itself. How is that possible? Brenna didn't knew about the Upside Down until Elle opened the gate, so how could he have created something that created the Upside... You get what I'm saying, right? I'm not crazy, right? Additionally, Nancy shooting... we should probably call it wormhole generator thingy, not shield generator thingy. Anywho, Nancy shooting the wormhole generator thingy even when Jonathan stops her and asks her, hey, are you sure? And she says, nope, she is not sure, but she takes the shot anyways. This is the girl that we've seen in season 1. Is the most thoughtful, methodical creature to ever fucking exist. Even in season 4 in the beginning. Her making the plan for the crawl. You are really telling me she did not think it through. And she just took the shot, because why not? Really? Yeah, no, I don't buy that. That's just the opposite. Why would Nancy do that? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, 2 more things. I gotta talk about this before I end this video. There are lots of other things that I need to talk about, but this is not a fully exhaustive list. This is just me ranting, so yeah. Vecna just being killed so fucking easily. When he was flambéed, he didn't die. When he was flambéed, he didn't accumulate as much damage as that fucking rock did. Okay, oh man. Even the Starcoat mall fight was better than this. It felt like it had more stakes, and it's so true. I remember that. Elle had lost her powers. It's just our gang against the meat player. The stakes are so high. And Billy died. I mean, oh man. Season 4, which was better than season 3, had even higher stakes. It was incredible. You know, I couldn't keep my eyes off the screen. And in season 5, the final is going on and I'm skipping. Let's talk about Holly, which I did not get to intentionally in the beginning because I knew if I started, I wouldn't be able to stop. And I need to eat. I'm actually really hungry right now. Anywho, Holly, bad character. Okay, so this is the problem, right? There are too many fucking characters. And now we've introduced one more, Holly, which was there in the previous seasons, yes, but not even as a minor character. She was a minor character, I guess. Had basically no role whatsoever. You could remove her from the story and it would be perfectly same. I was just thinking about this. Vecna doesn't really need children. We know that because he has invaded Max's mind, then that Nancy's colleague's mind. He has invaded lots of minds, okay? He doesn't really need children. And even if he did, I think the Duffer Brothers should have chosen somebody else, maybe somebody in our gang, instead of Holly. I was thinking, if he really does require children, maybe Erica. I don't know. It would be interesting with Erica, definitely, because Erica and Max can find each other and then help the other kids, maybe. It's gonna have a huge impact on Lucas, because not only is his girlfriend in a coma because of Vecna, now his sister is also gone because of Vecna. And I was thinking about that scene where the demo dogs attack the hospital and they're trying to find Max, and Lucas really doesn't want to turn off the music because she's coming back. And what if Robin throws it to distract the demo dogs anyways? It would create conflict. Good conflict, I think. Okay? Also, we have spent way too much time with Holly in season 5 for her to not have character development moments that could lead to her opening the portal by herself instead of Max doing all the emotional work for her. God damn it. Come on. Yeah, I get, okay, you've chosen the character. Now fucking stick to it, will ya? Don't, Also, I told you guys, right? I watched season 5 right after season 4. So everything from season 4 was fresh in my mind. One of the main plot lines of that season was Nancy and Robin going to Penhurst and talking to Victor so that they could figure out a way to lift the curse off of Max and try to find a way for her to survive. And in the end, it was music. And then in season 5, oh, the music really isn't necessary. The whole point was that music could reach the unconscious mind. Wasn't it? That was the whole point of season 4. And then apparently now she doesn't need music. Uh I mean, we see in the past that the portal had closed because the music stopped. What? Maybe, Holly not having somebody to play music for her, that holds meaning. Maybe that means that she has to stay in Vecna's world, in his mind. Maybe she tries to get the portal open like Max did, but she's not able to. And then Max has to leave because, well, she's been in this world for 2 years. But she can't leave. Holly is there. So she decides to stay. But in the last moment, Holly tells her to go back. And she finds the strength in herself to go back into Vecna's mind, even though she doesn't want to, even though she's really scared. And she doesn't want to do it. She wants Max to stay, but no, not like this. She needs to go back so she could get help. And in that moment, Vecna arrives, and Holly yells at Max to go, and she runs and runs towards the portal. And she comes back to the real world. But Holly is stuck there with Vecna. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things you could do. Okay, let's end this on a little positive note, okay? I don't listen, I'm not a Stranger Things hater, okay? Even though season 3 was fucking cray cray with the Russia plotline, I still liked it. I still watched it. Season 4 as well. It was better than season 3. I love Stranger Things, okay? But when you love something and you see it being treated so horribly, can't help but get angry. Yeah. First of all, the unproposal by Jonathan. It was really heartfelt. Okay. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I do feel that it was a little overdue, but okay. Finally, it happened. Okay. Okay. Another thing I liked is Elle's decision to stay back when the upside down explodes. It makes sense in my head. People pointed out that Elle has spent a lot of time hiding. She's really good at it. I mean, really? Oh, the government will never stop hunting them down. Is that really the reason why she is gonna stay behind and off herself? Really? Um, ah, that's kind of the point, right? I mean, as long as she lives, they will never stop hunting her down. They will never stop it. And even if the military doesn't capture her, what kind of life would she be living for the rest of her life? She would be hiding. And one wrong step, one mishap, one thing that goes wrong, and she's captured, those fuckers are gonna restart Brenner's experiment again. We see that with Kali. They tried that with Kali's blood as well. Rows, room after room after room, full of pregnant women, chained to the fucking table, not being able to leave, infused with Kali's blood. No, no, even if there is a slight chance of that happening again, you cannot risk it. So I do like that Elle stayed behind when the upside down collapsed. It makes sense in my head, especially after talking to Kali about them restarting the experiment and her seeing. Of course, she doesn't want that. But the Duffer Brothers did leave it open ended, which I don't like that they left it open ended, the decision itself, but the way that they tell it in the series over a game of Dungeons and Dragons, you know, oh man, that was really nice. Okay, I think that's all. That's not all, actually. I have so many things I could say about the series. But that's all for today. I'm really hungry. I'm gonna go eat, drink something, and then yeah, I'll think about the next video topic. If you want me to talk about something, let me know in the comment section down. Blah blah. Okay, you know what to do. Okay, you're a smart person. Of course. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.